Hello everyone, Adam here, and today I will be talking about the Molded from Remedy Entertainment's Control. I also did a video on the Hiss that you should totally watch, and there is a link in the description below. This deadly fungus, if left unchecked, could destroy all of humanity and perhaps the entire world. But before we get started, please remember to leave a like and a comment. Also, I noticed that over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed, and I would like to change that. So if you found this video entertaining or informative, please consider subscribing. It does help me out. The Molded first appeared in a threshold within the oldest house. Thresholds being locations within the oldest house that connects Earth to other dimensions, similar to how the object of power, the slide projector, operates. Since these appear spontaneously throughout the oldest house, they are constantly seen as threats and reconned by FBC agents before investigations are performed. While technically not mold, instead acting more like bacteria, Dr. Underhill, who is researching the substance, hypothesizes that it is a dominant interdimensional molecular structure coming into contact with a much more inferior structure, resulting in this substance. The first discovery of the mold happened before the events of the main game, with a threshold under the central research sector. A report of the first infected, whose name and age was kept redacted, but was most likely an FBC agent. His body was examined after death, or her, it's never really made clear. When opening the chest cavity, they discovered the victim's chest was full of fungus, confirming this mold existed before the Hiss invasion, and measures were taken to destroy or at least contain the mold afterwards. After the Hiss took over the oldest house, the mold grew out of control, taking over the entire sector and eventually making its way into select parts of the oldest house. The mold attracts the human host by forcing them to consume the substance. Using incredible sweet smells along with spores that induce hunger, the mold encourages the host to consume the fungus as much as possible. After its consumption, the individual undergoes a massive transformation and turns into a walking carrier as the mold completely engulfs the person's body and armoring the host. This creature will attack any non-mold creature while also spreading the mold to uncontaminated areas. However, the primary source of the mold seems to stem from a host creature. During Jessie's campaign to stop the growth, she'll encounter MOLD-1, a giant plant-like creature that seems to be the source of the mold. Once killed, the mold begins to retract, but smaller creatures can still spread the mold, as seen in the Aftermath side missions. However, it seems that the host must be alive to spread the mold, as Dr. Underhill states that cleansing the area after the creature's death should stop the spread. The mold can produce a deadly toxic spore, but as far as I saw in the game, these are designed only to kill, not to infect, most likely to protect MOLD-1 from any potential threat. We do see that Rangers did head down into the corrosive area, but this was most likely with heavy hazmat gear or protective wear to try and ensure that the toxic spores would not dissolve their skin. The key to preventing becoming a mold carrier is simply not to eat the fungus. But as seen in the game, this can be incredibly difficult. Several Rangers from the FBC succumbed to the appetite. Considering these are specially trained soldiers who are taught to take on interdimensional threats and head into hostile areas unknown to the human race, it can only mean that this hunger is so strong that it can break the will of even the strongest person. Dr. Underhill did create a pill that changes this sweet smell into a foul odor, making it easier for Jessie to traverse the area and also making her immune to the corrosive spores when heading to take down MOLD-1. Once infected, the individual simply cannot be saved. The fungus will completely take over the host, and the only way to prevent the mold from spreading is to kill all the hosts in the area. The main source in Jessie's case was MOLD-1, and burn the contaminated area fully. Despite this, the mold is actually much easier to contain and prevent than, say, the cordyceps fungus from The Last of Us. The fungus in Naughty Dog's game was spread through crops, direct contact with other infected humans, the alarming rate of infection throughout the world because of the crops infected, and the fact that it is natural to the earth makes it much easier to deal with than the mold. In addition to Dr. Underhill's preventative pill, by simply destroying all sources of the mold, you can prevent it from spreading. Whereas the cordyceps infection is much deadlier because anyone infected by that fungus will go through various stages the more time they are active. Not to mention, if they are killed, they will turn into spore plants and release millions of spores, potentially infecting more victims. Whereas with the mold, you can distribute the pill that Dr. Underhill created in order to prevent people from consuming the fungus while they clear out the areas, or give them full body suits to prevent the smell from seeping into their suits. So that does it for the mold from Remedy Entertainment's Control. The game is available on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, and I highly recommend it. It was one of my favorite games of 2019. I have not only a walkthrough and a review, but also an explain video on the hiss. And put in the comment section what game I should explain next. I've had a lot of fun with these videos, and I enjoy doing them. So tell me what I should explain next in the comments below. Till next time everyone, stay awesome.